Hello, this is Aaron Wallace here for Balance Your Fitness, here with another great expert video. Today I wanted to talk about organic food and organic farming and how that we can use that to be able to go and improve our health and get more results from our exercise program and get more results for being able to lose weight and change our bodies and change our health for the better. Now, a lot of people ask me about organic, eating organic and whether it's better than conventional and things like that. Is that first off, to understand a little bit more about where our food comes from and the difference between conventional and organic farming is to actually understand that it is our soil, to be able to go and understand soil science a little bit. So to give a little bit of a basic background on understanding how the soil that our plants grow in, which feed our animals, which end up feeding us. And that's actually where we actually understand the basic root of our health here as being humans living on Earth. So we want to be able to go and understand that a little bit better. So there's a great reference of a lecture by Paul Chek. You can just look this up. You can search it on YouTube. It's called Nutrition: The Dirt Facts. And he actually goes and explains into a lot more detail about understanding the organic cycle of life from the soil, life with the plants, life with the animals, and then that happens where we are able to eat and produce life. And produce robust health. So what we talk about organics is that a lot of times people want to go and understand, they want to go and make that choice to go and improve their health, and they see that organic food is a much better option for them to be able to go and improve their health, and it absolutely is. We want to understand a little bit why, and it starts from the soil. So when we have soil, naturally in the soil, for every gram of soil, if this is soil that hasn't been treated with a bunch of pesticides, herbicides, chemicals, fungicides, and so on and so forth, each gram of soil should contain about 600 million microorganisms in 1 gram of soil. That's about the weight of a penny. So 600 million microorganisms, so those would be natural bacteria and fungus and things like that, that actually help to digest and break down the minerals in the soil, that actually help to feed the plants and make it so that it is a digestible form of nutrition for the plants. So the more of these microorganisms that are in the soil, the healthier the soil is. And the healthier the soil is, the healthier the plant is. So the healthier our grasses or our trees or our other different types of plants that our animals are consuming. So the healthier the animal is, then the healthier we are when we eat the animal. So, and all this comes back. So the highest end of the food chain, for example, the lion, us humans or other carnivores like lions or things like that, when it's time for us to die, we go back into the ground, and basically the microorganisms and the plants, they end up eating us. So all this goes back on a cycle of life. So that's the basic organic cycle. So the problem is that with conventional farming and conventional mass producing of food, we actually destroy this cycle by the use of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, to go and mass produce grain-based foods, genetically modified foods such as corn, soybeans, genetically modified wheat, etc. So what happens is that when we go and start spraying on these chemicals all over the food, they actually destroy the microorganisms in the soil. So they actually go and the soil composition of microorganisms in soil that is of conventionally or commercially raised food is actually 85% less. So 85% less nutrition in the soil than actual organic farming, organically farmed soil. So we've got to be able to understand that that's a very important part of that's the basis of where all our nutrition begins. So by having the soil destroyed, it ends up making the plants less healthy, which then makes the animals less healthy, which makes us less healthy. So that's a very important point to remember, is that some people say, like, what's the difference between an apple that's conventionally raised and an apple that's organically grown or certified organic? The composition of soil, that's what gives the health of the plant, so that we can end up receiving that, and then us being healthy and vital. So I've heard a lot of people talk about studies that come out that say that organic food is no better than conventional. I'll let you know that a lot of times when you see these studies that are out there that would go and compare organic and conventional food, they actually do it with universities that are actually funded by companies like Monsanto and Cargill and DuPont, who are the major producers of these chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. So so they actually can design the study to actually go and make it sound like organic is good, or there isn't a difference between the nutrient content of the soil. So it actually can take about, if you start with a conventional plot of farmland that's been sprayed for however many years, it's going to take 5 to 10 to 15, sometimes up to 20 years of organic farming to actually recycle and get the nutrient content back up to where an organic farmer who's never seen that much any of those pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides. So it can take up to 15 or 20 years. So a study can go and look at farms that are what are called organically grown foods. So those would be farms in which there's no pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, but they haven't reached a certain time limit to where they actually can be called certified organic. So you actually look in the stores, if you go to like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or other different stores that now sell organic food, you'll actually go and see it'll say organically grown on the side instead of certified organic. So the difference is that the soil actually hasn't recovered enough, and you actually can, sometimes they'll do studies on these organically grown foods in which the soil hasn't recovered enough to give it the full nutrient content, and then compare that to conventional foods, and then they say there's no difference. So you have to be very careful about sometimes what they'll report in the mass media, because again, people who have the most money will tend to go and advertise for their own profit. It's not like Monsanto's going to go and say that organic foods are better than their genetically modified counterparts, because then no one would eat them. No one would eat their genetically modified counterparts and realize that they would make no money and go out of business. So when we talk about again, just reviewing this, we want to be able to understand what the health of the soil means. Is that when we start going and spraying all these chemicals on all the food, it destroys the very basis of health that actually starts for the plant, and then it ends up starting for us. And those are the microorganisms that are in the soil. So there's some great other references if you'd like to look at this. Again, Paul Chek's YouTube videos called Paul Chek on the Dirt Facts. So it would be great reference for you guys to be able to go and watch. He has all the references for all the statistics that I gave on the video today. And again, don't hesitate to go online to watch this YouTube video, write comments for other different topics you'd like to see. But for now, this has been Aaron Wallace here for Balance Your Fitness, telling you to live your life in balance.